Well, hello, folks out there on YouTube land. Got a great big old show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. I'm just kidding. What I have lined up for you is not great nor big, but I do have a little something lined up. So, a couple of things. It appears as if the Gamecocks have maybe settled on a starting five in terms of the offensive line for the game against Old Dominion. Maybe they're working on a depth chart. We'll see. It looks like they're about ready to unveil what they're going to do in game number one. And why is this important? Because last year's offensive line was absolute bona fide horseshit, and if they don't have a dramatic come up this year in terms of that whole unit, this season's going to be a total waste. A lot of people out there are saying it's going to be a total waste anyway. It don't matter what you got playing on the offensive line. You're going to win 4 games tops. I don't necessarily believe that. I think the team's fortunes are going to rise and fall with the play of the lines of scrimmage, especially the offensive line. And what I thought was very, very interesting is they have high 4-star, low 5-star, wherever you want to look at it, number 2 tackle in the country of the 2024 recruiting class, Josiah Thompson from Dillon, South Kakalaki, projected as the starter at left tackle for South Carolina. That's your most important position on the offensive line, and they are going to give the keys, it looks like, to a true freshman. Ballsy move, but I mean, look, you've got to go eat on the side where your bread is buttered at. And this guy, he looks the part. He was dominant in high school, hell of an athlete. I'm all in on it. Looks like Tree Babalade and what was it? The other kid, Trovon Ball. 2 freshmen who played a lot last year are not included in the starting 5, but included in that starting 5 is Torricelli Simpkins, the transfer from North Carolina Central. I told you when he transferred to South Carolina to keep an eye on this guy. He was their conference offensive lineman of the year. It looks like he's going to be starting probably at the right guard position. And then also Kamar Bell, a transfer from Florida Atlantic. Looks to be starting at the other guard position. So, hey, I like it. I think this line and this group of guys they've got, I know they've been putting in work, and I think they're going to be significantly improved over last year. I've heard that the running game in the scrimmage has looked excellent, and that even Nick Harbor, which I'm all over the place here. I'm talking running game, offensive line. Now I'm talking Nick Harbor. And Nick Harbor has been making some nice plays in these scrimmages as well. So all that stuff is very encouraging news to hear. I've heard that the defense is playing well in the scrimmages, and it's going to have to play well this year. I had a lot of questions after last season wrapped up. It's the way that defense played the last few games of the season. They played really well. They were kind of shifted into a different scheme, kind of like a 3-3-5 type of scheme, and they played a lot better. But they played a lot better against Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Clemson, 3 teams that can't move the ball. So I'm like, well, is it just that these teams are that crappy and they can't move the ball, or has the defense legitimately improved? And all indications are that it actually legitimately improved. So, encouraging signs. Am I going to proclaim us to be a dark horse for the SEC title game? Hell no. Am I going to predict this as a dark horse to even win like 8 games? No. But I do think these are all signs pointing towards this team at least getting back to bowl eligibility. And by no means, that's not the goal. That's not the bar. It's not where you want to be at. But it's an improvement over 2024. 2023. My God, I can't even talk correctly today. 2023. So we'll see what goes on with that. Also, just a couple of other news and notes here. I watched a video today that Uncle Lou put out where he talked about 5 teams that he sees on the upward trajectory over the next few years, like in terms of how they finished the past 5 years versus how they're going to do the next 5 years. And I agreed with some of the teams there he had on his list. He talked Miami, he talked Texas A&M, he talked Tennessee, he talked Nebraska, maybe. I don't know, maybe. I'm not impressed with Matt Rule as a coach. I'm just not. He did some good things at Baylor, yeah. Absolutely stunk it up in the NFL. And until he gets rid of that piss poor offensive coordinator, the human anchor, Marcus Satterfield, a guy who can drag any damn offense down that he tries. No, you're not gonna win at a high level. You may hit 500. That's about it. And this conference has just gotten tougher. I don't know about them, maybe, but he also mentioned Virginia Tech. Look, I don't know why is everybody so high on Virginia Tech. I for the life, I do not get it. I don't get it. Yes, they were good back in the 1990s. They were good in the early 2000s up to about 2010 under Frank Beamer. He did some good things up there. It's just not a destination anymore. They're not going to recruit at a high enough level to have any kind of sustained success up there. And yet last year they kind of caught a little bit of lightning in a bottle. They replaced one shitty quarterback with this Drones kid, and he turned out to be pretty good. They went out there and they won 4 or 5 games against a bunch of tomato cans, and then they won a bowl game against Tulane, who had already lost their head coach that took a job at Houston, and none of their good players were playing, and they beat them. So, I mean, what other than that? I mean, what have they done? And I'm not taking a dump on Virginia Tech, and I'm not saying that I hate them, but I don't know. I don't get that one. I don't see it. Their schedule this year sets up for them to have a winning season, but I don't think that they're going to go 10-2 or make an ACC championship game or potentially crack the college football. I've heard people talk about them potentially cracking the college football playoff. Get the fuck out of here. This team lost to Old Dominion less than 2 years ago. I better hush. We might do that in a couple of weeks. You never know. But, no. Virginia Tech, no. Nah, bruh. Not seeing it. But anyway, let me stop talking about that stuff real quick and tell you guys, this contest, Callaway's College Football Pick'em Challenge, this thing is going to be big. I've got more and more people getting into it every day. Today, we've had a flood of folks get into this contest. This pot is getting up around $2,000 right now. My goal was $3,000, and we've still got about 5 days until college football. And you have until August the 31st, so there'll be people who get in even after Week 0's games. But I'm telling you, you need to get in before Week 0 starts and get yourself into the contest. Send your $20 to Carolina Jackpot via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, and put the link down in the description box below. You go over there to the Rob and Kel Show, which I'll also link that in the description box below. All you do is make your picks. The board is already up. After you pay me your money, send me your name, make your picks. Go ahead and make your picks. There's a video over there too that shows you exactly how to do everything. You don't need to ask me any questions. You don't need to don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Don't do any of that shit. Just go make your picks after you pay me the $20. Get in the contest. Get in there. 70% of the winnings are going to go to the first place winner. Second place is going to get 20%. Third place is going to get 10%. Guys, it's a no-brainer to get in this contest. We got a lot of people who sit over here and run that goober holster about how smart they are about college football, about who's going to do this, who's going to do that, who's not going to do this, who's not going to finish, didn't do this, and which coach sucks. Put your money where your mouth is. It's $20. You're going to watch the football games anyway. You're probably going to bet on them somewhere else anyway also, and too. So why not get into this contest? Anyway, I'll see you guys later on. I appreciate you. Peace, and I'm out of here. Let's go eat some supper, and let's go Gamecocks.